Hi, students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I'm streaming to you live from Budapest. I hope everybody has had a great week and is looking forward to a fantastic weekend. Welcome, members. Carolina Pavan, good to see you in class. Our students, Hikmatillo, Pachu, Bruna, good to see you as well. Students, this class is brought to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. And for the general version of the exam, check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of our websites, we have over 100 hours of HD video lessons for all parts of the speaking, reading, writing, listening, and we have 6 original practice exams in a fully interactive course. This is our academic site here with the blue background. Click that red button to join. And this is our general here with the green background. Click that red button to join us there. Violet Nguyen, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. All right, everyone, if you haven't downloaded our app, please do so. It will help you, even the free version, Academic IELTS Help from your iOS and Android app stores. If you have questions, comments, concerns about our products or the exam, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. Hi, Awaz, good to see you in this class. Students, you can get our books from Amazon. Search for AE Helps Academic IELTS or GE Helps General IELTS. Now, very importantly, this listening class today will teach you some strategies to get some good band scores, and tomorrow there is no class, okay? So usually we have a class Saturday, but no class this Saturday. Instead, I will have a class for you on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, actually multiple classes on those days. So now, let's get to the listening section. This is coming from test number 4. The listening is the same for the academic and the general version of the exam. We'll get right into it. So we'll do listening section 1. This is the easiest of the 4 sections in the listening exam. The listening has, of course, 4 sections. Each one is about 10 minutes of audio and has 10 questions, okay? So make sure to do your best, of course, and get high marks in section 1 and 2 because 3 and 4 become more difficult. For the audio, I'm just going to go into my student account in our premium package here. And I'm going to play the audio in just a moment. Volume is max on my end. And I advise you to use a headset. Turn up your volume if it's quiet for you. Also, please don't write your answers into the chat. Please wait until we're finished with the listening section to go through the answers together. Be fair to your fellow students. So again, this is coming from CD4 because it's exam 4 and track number 1 because it's listening section 1. So everybody get ready. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
This recording is copyrighted by 2 Think One Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings, and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to section 1. Listening section 1. You will hear a conversation between a student and a university administrator. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example. This time only, the conversation relating to this question will be played.
Oh, hi there. Is this the University Registrar's office?
Yes, it is. I'm Deborah Reed, the university's assistant registrar. What can I help you with today?
Great. Thank you for seeing me today, Ms. Reed. I have a few concerns about my registration for the upcoming semester.
The student says she has concerns about registration, so B has been indicated for you. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Oh, hi there. Is this the University Registrar's office?
Yes, it is. I'm Deborah Reed, the university's assistant registrar. What can I help you with today?
Great. Thank you for seeing me today, Ms. Reed. I have a few concerns about my registration for the upcoming semester.
Certainly. What can I help you with? Sorry, what was your name again, Ms.?
Anderson, Melanie Anderson. And well, my first question concerns my student record. I'm beginning my second year of uni, but my first didn't go so well.
You're worried about your marks then, Ms. Anderson, and how they impact your registration status?
Exactly. I don't know my precise average, but it is not good. Could you look into this for me?
Absolutely. Could you please spell your last name for me? I've seen it spelt with either an E or an O in the final syllable.
It's an E, Andersen. My family ancestry is Swedish.
Right then. And the next piece of information I need is your student registration number.
Okay, seems I've left my student identification with my registration number on it in the car. Can I give you some other piece of information or identification?
Yes, you can. Along with your surname, I can find your account with your date of birth.
Great. It's the 20th of August, 1997.
The 20th of August, 1997?
Yes, that's right.
All right. Let's see your account then. Okay, here it is. Well, I see what you mean about your marks. These are certainly not ideal. However, your average is above the level necessary to proceed to year 2 of your programme. However, I do see there's a hold on your account which is preventing you from registering for classes.
Yes. See, I thought that was because of my marks.
No, it's not. It's actually because you have unpaid library fines.
Library fines?
Yes. During the past year, you must have been tardy in returning some items to the university library.
Yes, I think I was. Hardly seems like a good reason to prevent a student from registering, though.
I know how you feel, but books are expensive for the university library to acquire, and we must coerce students to pay fines one way or another.
How much do I owe?
£6.20.
£6.20? Well, I suppose it's a relief the total is so small.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
Well, now that that is out of the way, I did have another concern. I need advice on what modules to take in my first semester. I'm in the BA Art History program, but as you can see from my record, I failed a class which is a prerequisite for 2 modules I'm supposed to take this semester.
Yes, it looks like that's right. It was Art History 1270 that you failed. Is that right?
1270. Yes, I took it with Professor Calder. I found his teaching style did not match my learning style.
Right. Well, that art history class is indeed a prerequisite for both Art History 2170 and 2260.
Yes, unfortunately, that's what I found out earlier. Is there anything that can be done?
Well, Miss Anderson, I think there is. Here's what we'll do. We'll register you in the module you failed last year, and then we'll put you in Art History 2240, which counts towards your degree in place of 2260. 2240 has no prerequisite, however.
But what about the 2170 class?
Yes, well, that's where we'll have to be creative. Are you comfortable taking an extra class in the spring semester?
Yes, I think so.
Good. We will register you in 1270 and 2240 in the fall, and then register you in 2170 in the spring.
Great. And one final question. Is Professor Calder teaching art history 1270 again this autumn?
Yes, he is, but I've put you in Professor Hennessy's section instead. I think you'll be more successful.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
And always use that time to check your answers, students, that half a minute, because the information is fresh in your mind. And while the information is fresh in your mind, you can catch some mistakes and also some answers that you might not have realized the first time around. Now, before we answer, students, you realize that at the beginning, when the instructions were going, I scrolled through each of the 4 sections. You only have a chance to do that in the paper-based exam. You're not supposed to, but they don't say that you can't. So if you're able to look at the section 2, 3, 4 topics, just to get your brain working, that's a good idea. That's one advantage of the paper-based exam. Sometimes the examiner or the proctor will say, hey, don't turn the page, stay on section 1, please. And then just stay on section 1, don't argue. But if they don't say, you can kind of just check. The question booklet is in front of you. You can't do that in the computer-based exam. But the computer-based exam has other kinds of advantages. So there are slight differences between the paper-based and the computer-based. Okay? All right. Remember to review those if you have the chance. Section 2, 3, 4 topics. That's what I was doing at the beginning. Okay, I see that Paranjay is sharing with us. Hi, Paranjay. You got your results today. Overall, band 7.5, listening 9, reading 7, writing 6.5, and speaking 7. You are very welcome, Paranjay, for all the resources. And congratulations on a fantastic score. 7.5 means that you are between a good and very good user of English. That's what most native speakers, Paranjay, would score if they sat down the exam without studying. But that means their whole life they've been studying. So good for you, Paranjay. Good job. Okay. All right, students, let's get back to Mark. We do love when students come back and share their success stories or their experiences. So thank you for that. That was actually the second one today. Fantastic. I guess a lot of students were doing exams the past few weeks. All right, students, so let's do this together. Let's answer together. Here we go. Questions 1 and 2. In the beginning, we had this example. What does the student need help with? They need help with registration, so they're talking with the university registrar. Okay, very nice. First question, in which year of university is the student enrolled? So is this a first-year student, second-year student, third-year student, A, B, or C? Okay, this is the first question. This one is given to you. We know that it's registration. Yeah, so it's second-year university, B, right? Okay, very good. All right. Yeah, so the student says, I'm finished my first year and I'm trying to get my second year classes picked out, but I can't. I'm registered for second year, but I can't pick my classes. What is the student most concerned about? They don't use the word concerned in the listening. There's lots of paraphrasing. The speakers use a different word. Anybody catch the word that they use instead of concerned? It's very important to practice catching the paraphrasing in the listening, okay? That's key to getting high marks in the listening section. That's right, Shang Hung, very good. Yeah, worried. Especially for those students who might be hearing this listening a second time, the students who have been with us for a longer time, you should be especially focusing on catching the paraphrasing this time. So worried, yeah, instead of concerned. Very good. And yes, she is worried or concerned about her registration status. So B and B are the correct answers. Okay, good. All right. Next question, question number 3 to 5. Complete the notes below. Write no more than 3 words and or a number for each answer. This type of question is very common in listening section 1, 2. Okay. Here we're looking for her family name, her surname. Her name is Melanie, and the spelling is given to you. It's Anderson, and it's an E at the end instead of an O, okay? Anderson. Right, it's not an O. Often you see it spelled with an O, but she spells her name with an E. Why does she spell her name with an E instead of an O? So why is it not Anderson? Why is it Andersen? That's right, Pavan. Very good. She is Swedish, not Spanish, Hikmatillo. She's Swedish. Swedish names often have a different vowel than English names. Okay, so Melanie Anderson with an E. You can write it all capital. A lot of students always ask me this question. Can I write it like this? Yes, you can. The advantage of this all capital is it's easier to read. No mistakes with upper lowercase. The disadvantage of all capitals, anybody know what the disadvantage if you're writing all of your answers in all capital letters? What's the disadvantage? Anybody know that? It's a good question. Yes, Hikmatillo, absolutely you can. You can write it all. Yeah, that's right. Tutha Nguyen says it's time consuming. So the advantages are you won't make a mistake with capital or lowercase, but the negatives are it takes more time. So lowercase letters are faster to write if you have practice. It's slow. And it's easier to make spelling mistakes. Okay? It's statistically proven that when people use all capital letters, statistically, it's a higher chance that you will make a spelling mistake. So if you have a spelling mistake, it will get marked wrong. Okay? I usually suggest students to use lowercase when possible. So one trick that you can do is you can write all lowercase in the question booklet. This is in the paper-based exam only, not the computer-based, only the paper-based. This is another advantage of the paper-based. You can write it all lowercase, and then you have 10 minutes to transfer your answer sheets at the end. When you transfer your answer sheets, 10 minutes is a lot of time, so you can transfer them as all capitals, but make sure that you have the same letters in your answer sheet as you have in your answer booklet. So again, if you decide to do that, make sure to practice, okay? All right, just some different choices. For some of you, one way might work better. For others, another way might work better. So keep those different possibilities in mind. Okay, so when is her birthday? Number 4. Okay, so Anderson, good. When is Ms. Anderson born? Barendra says 20th of August. Very good, Barendra. Nice spelling as well. You'll get it correct. Okay. Easiest way? 20 Aug. August, so months of the year, proper nouns, they take capital letters. 20th August, absolutely. Okay, and she is surprised to discover that the reason she is not able to register is because of overdue library fines. How much does she owe in library fines? Very good, Lutfulo, Mirza Kosimov, and Barendra, and Chuthen, and Zaid. 620. Okay. The correct answer here is 620. Okay. In your answer sheet, this is all you need to write. You don't need to write pounds. Okay. Because it's given for you. There it is. All right. That's the so you don't need the symbol for pounds. You just need to write 620. In fact, if you write the word or the symbol, you may get that wrong. Okay? All right? Careful. For months of the year, days of the week, you can use abbreviations. Learn them. It's faster, especially when you're doing this as you listen. So learn your abbreviations, okay? Abbreviations are acceptable on the exam. Use abbreviations. Okay, next question. So you had a little bit of chance to review the questions here. What program is the student in? So what program is she registered in? Barendra says BA in Art History. Now it is no more than 3 words for each, so BA Art History is okay. It's the fastest. Okay, BA Art History. Sure. You don't need to write the full word. Again, BA means Bachelor's of Art History or Bachelor's in Art History. But BA is enough, okay? So BA is bachelor's, MA is master's, PhD is postdoctorate, okay? So BA, art history, okay? Charanjit, BA is okay, as I mentioned. It's short form, it's okay. Prabdeep Singh, yeah, all capitals, BA Art History is fine. All right, so next one, matching the class number with the correct description. So here you have questions 7, 8, and 9. You have to choose A, B, or C. 2170, taken and failed, will take in the spring, not taking at all. What's the correct letter for number 7? Okay. Lutfulo says it's B. Zaid, Charlie Sen agree. So this class she's going to take in the spring. Number 8, 1270 or 1270. Gurpreet Singh says A. Okay, so taken and failed. Yeah, that's the one where she says, what's her excuse? Anybody? Test yourself. Test how well you listen by asking follow-up questions. What is her excuse for failing that class? Anybody? What is her reasoning when she says something in the audio? She says, well, yeah, I failed that class. And then she doesn't say because, but she does give an extra little bit of opinion about it. Okay? She does, yeah. And it's not that she's not interested. Yeah, she uses the teacher as the excuse. So she says, I didn't get along with the professor. It wasn't my style of teaching. Good. Okay, number 9, 2260, by deduction, obviously, all we have left is C. So if you got B and A correct, then you will have this correct. I'll give you a little bit of an interesting piece of information here, a little detail. Notice how here it's 1270. I'm not sure about all the countries, but in the UK and in Canada, when you have a first year class in university, it usually starts with a 1, also in the US. So like if you have, for example, Math 100, it means it's first year math, okay? If you have a number of a class like 251, for example, Math 251, that means it's second year, okay? Now, these numbers might be different. It might be calculus, it might be math for physics, it could be math for algebra. So these numbers change, the last two numbers, but the first number, this number 2, will indicate that it's second year, okay? And then obviously you can guess that third year classes will be with the number 3, fourth year with 4, and graduate classes, so master's classes, will begin with the 5, okay? So 5, 1, 4. Also, you sometimes will see classes like 061. These are usually replacement classes. So if you need to redo, for example, grade 12 math, because it's a prerequisite, then you might have math 061, which is equivalent to grade 12 math, okay? That's kind of a interesting little piece of information. If you keep that in mind, then if you ever do get this kind of question, it won't be confusing. Also, for many of you who are studying for university, I know Dinesh in our last class just passed IELTS and said he's going to be in Australia. When you're looking at your course selection, this can help you figure out what's going on, okay? Charanjit, I'm fascinated by the fact that you're trying to predict the exam on November 23rd, but it's basically impossible. There are millions of topics for the examiners to choose from, and even if the last exam, for example, the speaking focused on people, there's no guarantee that the next exam will focus on objects. It could also focus on people. So trying to guess topics is kind of a silly waste of time. That's my advice there, okay? All right, we have one more question here for section 10. Let's wrap her up. Question 10, choose the correct letter A or B. The student is registered for 1270 with the same professor as she previously had. A, true, B, false. Correct answer is Amay Thadak, very nice. Ahmed, good job. It's B, false. Okay. The student says, is the professor teaching again this year? And the registrar says, yes, he is, but I put you with a different professor. So at the end, always listen until the end of the section, okay? Sometimes the answers are coming very, very late, so be careful about that. Okay, add up your correct raw score. What did you get out of 10? What did you get from 10 on that? Okay, let me know your score. I'm curious how you did. This is a very typical listening section 1. Zaid says 6. Ludfulo says 10 out of 10. Gan says 4. Mustasim says 9. Hikmatillo says 8. Okay, again, keep in mind, students, I've said this a few times before, okay? This is a kind of a good measure of your overall listening score. So in order to get a band 6.5 or more on the listening section, or in the listening section, you should get 8 or more correct in section 1. Okay, so the sections get more and more difficult. Section 2 is more difficult than section 1. Section 3 is even more difficult, and section 4 is the most difficult. If you are getting lower than 8 in section 1, you have to do a lot of listening practice because students who get 6 or 7, historically, I have realized that they do not get a band 6.5. Okay, so, oh, Dandu, another student sharing their results. Very good, Dandu, nice. So 7.5, 6.5, 7, and speaking 6. Okay, keep working on the speaking, Dandu. But an overall band 7 is a really nice result. So congratulations. 7 on writing. That's a nice result, Dandu. Good job. Okay. All right. Okay, students. So remember, your aim for section 1 is 8 or more. If you can get 9 or 10, you're in the sweet spot. You're in the right. You're on the right track. Okay, you're doing well. All right. A couple more tips that I mentioned. Remember, okay, in the paper-based exam, if possible, review the topics of section 2, 3, and 4 during the instruction time. Okay. Also, another tip, if you are worried about capitals, you can write lowercase in your question booklet and then change to uppercase letters when you transfer your answers to the answer booklet. Okay, so keep those in mind. All right, any questions about the listening or section 1 before we go into listening section 2 practice? Okay. Venkata says, can I write in either format? Yes, you can, Venkata, but it will look awkward and it can be even more confusing for your mind. So I don't recommend doing like a mix and match of upper lowercase. That could get really haphazard. So you can, but I don't recommend it. Okay. Hikmatillo, there's a really good study plan in your online course at aehelp.com or glshelp.com. Subhash is asking about multiple choice. A lot of students do ask about that. Okay, so my tip for multiple choice is when you see these in your review time, spend more time looking at this type of question. Also, use logic to get the right answer and practice these questions with paraphrasing at home. Okay, so those are the quick answers on how to do well with the multiple choice questions. Of course, Gurpreet, yes, use logic. So logic can always help you. Yes, you can. So Venkata Asai is asking, can I write the dates in either format? So can I write it as September 26 or Sep 26? Yes, you can. You don't need the dash, though. I'm not sure why you're putting the dash in there. Tunde is asking, is it compulsory to write in uppercase when transferring to the answer booklet? No, it's not, Tunde. Absolutely not. So if it's better for you to write with correct casing, using both upper and lower, then you should do that. So Tunde, it's the best when a student can use upper and lower case accurately. Okay. Prabdeep is asking, what should I do about the 4th section of listening? That's a good question, Prabdeep. So for section 4, it's quite challenging for many people. There's no break. It's just one continuous listening. Okay. In section 4, make sure to practice identifying your location in the audio. One of the most common difficulties that students have with listening section 4 is they lose their position in the audio and the question booklet, and then they fall apart and it's all downhill from there. What's really important when you're at home is make sure that you practice noticing parts of questions that are key elements which help you identify the location in the audio. I'll show you what I mean by that. So here is section 4. Okay. So section 4, I looked at this during the instruction time, and I realized that the topic is the loggerhead turtle. Okay. So here we're talking about the loggerhead turtle. And when I'm in section 4 listening to this, there are some key words that can help me to identify where I am, like the word eggs. Okay? Eggs is a pretty hard word to replace with a synonym. So it's most likely that you're going to hear this word in this context. Okay? So you know that you're in this position. All right? Here you have the sandy beaches provide a perfect location for nesting. Okay, maybe the word nesting can help you locate where you are. Beaches, okay, or a synonym of beaches, shoreline, right? So look for those identification words. Here you have the word kilometers or a name like Atlantic, right? That will help you. Okay, students, some good questions there. If I didn't get to your question, you can always send it to me by email. I'll share my email at the end of class. Now, let's get ready for listening section 2. Okay, so here we go with listening section 2. I'm going to darken the screen a bit so you can see one of these questions better. Again, students, remember that my volume is max, so if it's quiet for you, you need to turn the volume up on your side, and make sure to save your answers until the end of the audio, so don't confuse your fellow students, okay? Here we go with listening section 2. We're just going to hop back to the website where we have all of our, I think, 10 different CDs, like 70 different tracks. Okay, ready everyone? Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Questions 11 to 16. Listening, Section 2. You will hear a woman showing a group of people around an all-inclusive resort hotel. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
I'd like to welcome all of you to the White Sands 5-star resort here in beautiful Varadero, Cuba. Today, I'm going to show you the fine features you'll get to experience during your stay here at White Sands. Before we begin, does anyone have any questions?
Hi there. Yes, I have a quick question. How long will the tour be? I have to meet the rest of my family for lunch in an hour.
Not a problem, sir. The tour will take no more than 30 minutes. If after this time anyone wants more details on any of the resort's features, I can help them out individually. Any other questions? No? Well, let's get started then. White Sands covers 10 acres of land, including direct access to over 250 metres of pristine Caribbean coastline. It is perfectly safe to swim in the waters here at White Sands, but do be on the lookout for jellyfish in the water. They are not deadly, but their sting does pack a punch. As we pass through the lobby, I want you to take note of the main bar area on your left. The bar is open from 11 in the morning each day and closes at 1 o'clock a.m. each night. As we proceed down the main path, you'll see 4 apartment buildings, marked A and B on your left, and C and D on your right. Between buildings C and D on your right is one of our finest restaurants featuring traditional Cuban cuisine. We have 7 restaurants in all at White Sands, and we invite you to try your favourites while you are here.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
In our brochure, I read that we are only entitled to 5 restaurant visits per week we stay at the resort. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. The restaurants are only open for dinner, and reservations are mandatory. You will be able to make reservations at the end of this tour or any time before 5 this evening. When you are not dining at our a la carte restaurants, you may eat at either of our 2 buffet restaurants, which are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Additionally, there is a night cafe, which is open until 4 a.m.
Does the resort have a nightclub for dancing?
Yes, of course. We have a discotheque located at the end of the main resort path, further away from the apartments. This is, of course, for noise reasons. In fact, the discotheque is conveniently located next to the night cafe.
And what are the discotheque's hours?
It opens at 8 in the evening and closes at 3 a.m. early the next morning. Last call for drinks is at 2:45.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
Next, I'd like to take you down to the beach and show you some of the facilities and services we offer. As we approach the beach, you'll notice the brilliant white sand that our resort is named after. The sand is incredibly fine and is lovely to walk on in your bare feet. Now you can see to your left is one of our beach bar facilities. There is also another beach bar about 100 metres to your right. These bars serve beer and cocktails from noon until 4:30 in the afternoon. On your right is a small cafe serving snack food items during the same opening hours as the beach bar. And straight ahead of us is our beach changing facility, where you can change into your swimming costume, use the toilet, or have a shower.
Are there any water sports included in our holiday package?
Good question. Yes, there are. You have unlimited access to our skimboards, surfboards, and beach sports equipment, such as beach volleyball and football. Additionally, you may sign up for windsurfing at our activity desk, located adjacent to the resort lobby. Finally, you may also register for our weekly water polo tournament, which is held each Friday afternoon at 2:30. Does anyone else have any?
That is the end of section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, students, and again, check your answers. So a little bit unconventional. Let's answer this diagram question first, then I can make the screen brighter. What is the configuration of the buildings on the beach for number 17? Is it A, beach bar to the left and right with a cafe to the left? The entrance is for orientation. Is it B, beach bar directly ahead and to the right with a cafe to the left? Is it C, beach bar directly ahead, cafe and a beach bar to the right? Or D, beach bar or beach bars to the left and right with a cafe to the right? All right, many of you are saying are D. Yeah, that's right. So it's D here. So this is where they're standing. That's why you have the entrance. This is where all the people are located. And she says there's a beach bar to the left, there's a beach bar to the right, and you'll also notice the cafe to the right. So that's the instructions or the diagram that she explains. Make sure to practice that type of question. The IELTS loves adding this kind of question into the listening somewhere. So there's a very good chance that you will have a diagram type question in your listening section, usually in section 2 or section 3. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. I'll brighten up the screen here a little bit for us so you can see me and see it maybe a little bit better. Okay. All right. So let's go to question number 11. Choose the correct letter, A, B, or C. Always read this part here. Number 11, approximately how long will the tour be according to the guide? A, quarter of an hour, B, an hour, or C, half an hour? Yeah, C is correct. Again, logic. Usually these tours, they try to keep them to an hour. Quarter of an hour would be very fast. And the man said, I think the woman says 30 minutes. And of course, 30 minutes is half an hour. So the correct letter is C. So you put C into box 11 eventually in your answer booklet. All right, now here comes question 12 to 15. So here you have 12, 13, 14, 15. That means that you have multiple spaces to fill in. Okay, you have 12, 13, 14, 15. You get as many marks as however many you get correct. So you have, basically, you have 8 choices. So you have about a 50-50 for this one. And notice how, this is what I mentioned with multiple choice questions. This is a type of multiple choice. I spent more time with it, okay? So what are the features of the resort? Just give them to me. So B, C, D, H, A, C, D, H, A, D, E, G, G, B, E, F. We got a lot of different, answers. So A is one. She says that at the end, okay? There's also a night cafe. It's the last one that she says. So A for sure. Okay, a lot of you caught that. Deadly jellyfish, no. She says the water is safe to swim, but be careful about the jellyfish. They're not deadly, but they do pack a punch. Their sting does pack a punch. So not B. Okay. D is correct. So she says very clearly we have 4 apartment buildings labeled A, B, C, D. So D for sure. A number of restaurants. That's correct. E. How many? Anybody catch that? How many restaurants? That was the right answer, E. So D and E. How many restaurants in total? That's right, Gurpreet. Very good. 7. Dil Murata liked the answer. A lot. Yeah, 7 is a lot of restaurants. So a lot of restaurants. Okay, and the last correct answer was G. Direct beach access. Of course, right? It's a resort. It makes sense. It would be a good guess. A resort that does not have direct beach access is not a resort that's going to be in business for too long. So the correct answers were A, D, E, and G. And it can be any order here. So you could have E, G, A, D. The order doesn't matter. You just need to have the correct letters. Okay? It's 4 points on that one. Make sure to spend time reviewing questions like this. They can be a bit tricky. Okay? All right. What time is the last call at the discotheque? Last call means it's the last chance to buy usually alcoholic beverages. So margaritas, vodka, beer, last chance to buy it, 2:45 a.m. So just before it closes. Just a second, I'll get you back on screen here. Yeah, so 2:45. I believe she says 2:45, the exact words. If you're curious about that cute little baby, that's my daughter, Sabella. All right, good. So, B it is, moving along. All right, let's check out the last few questions. We got number 17, that was D, and then here, These ones came really fast, and it was hard for me just because of the layout of this exam to get to these on time, but hopefully some of you kept in mind the answers. So the beach bars serve beer and cocktails from noon until something in the afternoon. Until what time? Lutfulo says 4 p.m. Lara says, I think it's 4:30. Yeah, 4:30. She says 4:30 until 4:30. So 4:30. So they're open for 4.5 hours from noon until 4:30 in the afternoon. You can write 4:30 because it says afternoon, so you don't need to write 16:30. Okay. All right. In addition to the small cafe on the beach, we also offer a changing what? That one should make sense. Doc, good guess. Changing room. In American or Canadian English, we would say changing room, but the IELTS is British, and they will say changing facilities. Changing facilities. Okay. Plural. Of course, women's and men's changing facilities. Sorry. Yeah. Facility. Yes, you're correct. Okay. Why? Because of this. Okay, that's how I knew I was wrong. Always pay attention to the article. If you see it has to be singular. Okay. So, shuhasini, very good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Where you can change in and out of your swimming costume. Again, that's very British. Swimming costume. In Canada and the US, we say swimming suit, but sure. We also offer plenty of sports at the resort, whether it is skimboarding, beach volleyball, football, windsurfing, or our once a week something tournament. What tournament? Yes, Charlie, room would not be accepted, I think, in this case, because it's American English, and they very clearly say facility. It's water polo. Water polo. Yeah. Okay, so for those of you who have been in this class very adamantly and being studious throughout, what is your total score from 20 for section 1 and section 2? What did you get out of 20? So that last one was water polo, not polo. Polo is played on horses. Water polo, no horses, you're in the water. Okay. Torres, 20 out of 20. That's very nice. Nice one. Amandeep says 17 out of 20. That's great. Preet, 18 is a good number. Barendra, 16 is solid. You're still on track. Okay, you're averaging 8 per section. That's good. Tahani, 15. That's definitely your border. Gurpreet, 12 out of 20. You want to study some more, okay? 12 out of 20 is not enough to get those higher band scores because section 3 and 4 are going to be more difficult, okay? So for section 1 and 2 total, you should be aiming at least 15, 16 minimum so you can get a band 6.5, okay? All right, students, these listening sections and exercises, they're taken from our premium package on our website. So definitely, I highly advise you to join our premium package by clicking this red button at aehelp.com or at gieltshelp.com, clicking that red button. You have 6 original practice exams, over 100 hours of video lessons, and a fully interactive course with speaking, writing opportunities and support. So definitely the right place to get ready for your next exam. And again, a reminder, no class, live class. Tomorrow, next live class will be on Sunday, okay? And on Sunday, we will have a task 1 for members and a task 2 essay start for everyone. Yes, Barendra, pencil in the exam is okay. Yes. Yes. All right. That's it for today. I'll see you on Sunday. Have a fantastic Saturday. For those of you writing exams this weekend, I wish you good luck. And if it's late in your country, you're getting ready for bed, then I wish you sweet dreams. If it's early in your country and you're just starting your day, then I hope you're going to have a fantastic Friday. Bye for now, everyone.